all points on the graph of the given function where the tangent line is horizontal. That means tangent line, right, horizontal. That means that f prime of x has to be 0 where that occurs. And this is quotient rule. Bring the denominator up times the derivative of the numerator. And by the way, you write down notation until you think it before you write it. That way you don't get it wrong. Minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator all over the denominator squared. This becomes x squared minus x plus 1. The derivative of x squared plus x minus 1 is 2x plus 1 minus x squared plus x minus 1. The derivative of x squared minus x plus 8 is 2x minus 1 all over x squared minus x plus 1 squared. Now, if you're brave, and I'm not, or you're industrious and not lazy, and I don't fall into that category, because I can avoid work if I can get away with it. You're going to have to multiply the binomial times the trinomial, the binomial times the trinomial, bring everything together, and then you can set it equal to 0. Well, I don't do that. On my iPad, and you can get it, and I have it on my iPhone too. You can get it for your phone. I have a couple of apps. And by God, I use them if I have to. Because I can do the algebra. It's not if I can't do the algebra. I know that. Given enough time, I can. But I want to learn how to differentiate, and I want to learn the next piece of the puzzle. I don't want to take a half an hour or an hour to try to multiply everything out and get it right. Mathway, I think, is a free app. I don't know, any of you have Mathway?
Yeah, that one's free.
It's free. Wolfram Alpha is not. I think it's now $2.99. Wolfram Alpha is a lot more powerful. All Mathway does is math. Wolfram Alpha does all kinds of stuff. It does math, it does word and linguistics, units and measurements, statistics and data analysis, people and history. You can just go in and ask it a question. You know, what is the latitude and longitude of Geneva, Switzerland? Then it'll tell you that. So you just ask it a question. Now, I, last hour, typed in our numerator. Then I just pressed go, and it sent back, and this says, this is what you want, right? And then once I pressed equal, enter, it simplified it for me, and it's minus 2x times x minus 2. Now, what it does and what the apps do, if you have it on your computer, you can use Wolfram Alpha on your PC or on your Mac. However, it'll only allow you to do a couple of them where it shows you step by step, unless you pay them a monthly fee. With the app, you don't have that problem. You know? It's kind of at will, and then so it shows me, I asked it to show me the step-by-step, and here it is multiplying everything out, right? There's the other one, it multiplied out, you know, then it combined the terms, so it goes combining like terms and simplifying, and it takes you down through all of the gory, awful stuff of how you come out with minus 2x times x minus 2. And for me, if I've got a lot of grunt work algebra to do, I'll move to something like that. As long as I know I can do the grunt work algebra, given enough time, I can go in and do it. And also this says if you can't do it, it'll show you how. Now I don't know what Mathway does because that's not something that I use rather frequently, but I do use Wolfram Alpha. In this class, I don't use it much in college algebra. So this is 2x times x minus 2. I'm going to set this equal to 0 because I want to have the slope of the tangent being 0. The only way this can be 0 is if the numerator is 0. So I get that x is 0 and x is 2. So these are the x values where the slope of the tangent equals 0. But they don't only want the x values, they want the y values, right? I didn't even do that last hour. So what I need is the points. So I need my favorite, f of 0, because that's a no-brainer. That's 0 squared plus 0 minus 1 over 0 squared minus 0 plus 1, which is just minus 1. So one of the points is going to be x equals 0, y equal minus 1. And f of 2, that's 2 squared plus 2 minus 1 over 2 squared minus 2 plus 1. That's 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's 2 and 5/3. So those would be the points on the graph where the slope of the tangent equals 0. And like I said, I personally use Wolfram Alpha if I need to have something that's going to help me cut back on the amount of work I'm doing. Because you guys, it's just going to take a lot of time. If I take a look at the graph, and I'm going to do a zoom standard again, so there it is, there's 0 and 1. Let me bring this in a little bit closer. Let me do a zoom decimal. There's the first one. That's 0, negative 1. And notice, it's very, very hard to see the fact that there is one right here. Because what happens? The graph goes up, and then it starts back down. The only way it can start back down is if it's got a maximum. But it's very gradual when it comes back down. It's very, 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 very hard to actually see that hill. I tried last hour. I did a zoom box. And I went up, and you have to get very, very close to it. To see if you can get it in there. Yes, there it goes up, 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 and notice it's starting back down, but notice how gradual that is. But your maximum is right up in here. You just can't see it. And that's why, by the way, let me do a zoom decimal again. And we said it occurred at where? 2? So if I hit trace, should be 2 5/3, which would be what? 1 2/3? So if x equals 2, one 2/3. There it is right there. There's a maximum there, but hard to see.